Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darren and I haven't got to sleep yet. It has been a late night for me for last couple of days. Can't sleep because there's so much in terms of BFA and it just makes me more salty that I'm not in the alpha. So the first thing I want to take a look at are the Dark Iron Dwarfs because we haven't actually got to take a look at them, and there's a few details that I completely missed about the Dark Iron Dwarfs. And that's mostly in terms of customization. I got a lot of other stuff to talk about. We got more serious topics of how Blizzard is handling BFA in terms of balancing. But real quick, let's dive into the Dark Iron Dwarfs, because if you haven't taken a close look at Dark Iron Dwarfs, you'll actually notice that there's a few things that you might have missed. For example, a lot of the Dark Iron Dwarfs have, I guess, let's say, various beards, various hairs, various hair colors, but there's a few details you probably missed. One of the few things I want to show, not only with every single beard and how they look, but if you take a look at the tips of the beards for male Iron Dwarfs, and only male Iron Dwarfs, as far as I can see, have it, and you see the eyes, there's a little bit of fire ember at the tips of this hair, this hair, this hair, and at the eyes. Female dwarves don't have that. Here you have at the bottom, it actually stretches a little bit up to the beard. You can see it more lit up in red. This tip, this tip. Here we got two different bushels, and you can see just the detail in terms of the beards. I mean, if you're into dwarfs and you want to have a big manly beard, big dwarven beard, I think these guys would probably have the best looking beards. And again, that detail, that attention to detail for our Dark Iron Dwarfs, that fiery piece of it is awesome. I honestly love it. It just makes me think about the whole, how they were, you know, worshiping Ragnaros or whatever, and it's just a really cool detail that probably you won't see. The hair colors, some of the different hair colors also accent the beard. Of course, the red looks great. The white looks awesome, the snow white, because the red on that snow white, I think it contrasts well. Then you have the dark, really makes it stand out, and then you have all the other colors in between. A lot more different and I think better color customization than normal dwarfs would have. Then we got a metal bit to it, like think Metallica metal. Piercings. Now, normally you see female tools with piercings, but to see, let's say, a warrior who's also a Dark Iron Dwarf with a flaming beard, literally embers coming off the beard, embers coming off the eyes, rage pumping, and a piercing. I mean, something about it, it's so simple, but it makes it look so goddamn cool. Imagine having a brow piercing, especially if these guys can be shamans, although I don't know if they will be able to. So far, they said paladins is something they can be. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to play warriors. Shamans, I guess they were working with Ragnaros, but it could be like, hey, because you're a bad guy, elements would come to you, or some along those lines. Now let's talk about some things that are actually going to change with the game. One of the things is we're going to get different weapons besides the artifact weapons. But there's a possibility these weapons will Warforge and Titanforge. If you're like me, my experience has been, as a main character, a main rogue, I do a raid, I do a dungeon, I'll try so hard for the pieces of gear that I need, and I just won't get them. I play on alt, and I'll get everything Titan forging into the bazillion numbers. And I'll just be there salty, the fact that my alt's a better gear than my mains. And that's what Titan forging and Warforging basically has done. And it's all RNG, so there's a possibility that when you get better weapons, RNG is gonna be either your saving grace or screw you. Because you can have Joe, who's a PvP or PvE or plays to the best, top of the charts. New expansion starts, Joe can get a Titanforge axe. His buddy Billy, who's just started playing World of Warcraft, got a nice, insanely Titanforged out weapon, and now he simply hits harder than Joe. That's a little bit annoying to see that happen, but it's a possibility. So Blizzard is changing a lot of abilities to quest or to work off of attack power. A lot of classes work off of weapons like Red Pallies, Marksmen, and Arms of Warriors, and Rogues, I think. They work off of weapons. So they change it to work off of attack power, so weapons don't influence you as heavily. Balances the game better, easier to hold off to it, easier to change things around. I think this is overall a good change. I think it'll also transition into PvP a little bit better, like as we'll be able to get PvP, hopefully weapons, hopefully gear, and not just use PvE into PvP. I think this will allow the game to be more balanced, so kudos to Blizzard. Hopefully it works out. Again, it's one of those things that sounds good on paper, could be good on implementation, no idea, subject to change before alpha. Then we have the big one, a change for a lot of our bleed classes. If you're an Assassination Rogue and you want to play an Assassination Rogue bleed build, but Haste has been a stat you didn't want, Mastery doesn't work for you to bleed, Versatility kinda does, Crit kinda does, Blizzard is making Haste a viable option for bleed-based classes. You can actually make an Assassination Rogue bleed build, and every stat is good. Versatility buffs your bleeds, Mastery buffs your bleeds, Crit buffs your bleeds, or chance for bleeds, Haste buffs how fast your bleeds tick. This is awesome for Pharaohs and all the other classes, because now Blizzard made an actually useful stat, or changed the stat to be more useful than it was before. Here's some of the examples. A Pharaoh has 35% haste, 1.8 second bleed ticks. Pharaoh has 39, which is 4 more, 35, 39. 1.7, 1.8, where's 1.7? That's little, but when you take a look at the rogues, Garrote, every 2 seconds at 2% haste. 1.7 seconds at 17% haste, and that's your Garrote, but it also works for poisons. So for nature damage every 0.9 second, but if you up the haste from 4% to 17, you get 1.7. It's so good. You can actually make a really good bleed build, dot build. I always wanted to be, as an Assassination Rogue, my fantasy is to be an Affliction Warlock with pair of daggers, pair of little steak knives, and just go destroy an enemy, put bleeds, put dots, put everything, vanish, watch them melt from afar. Although I don't think Blizzard will actually go without build, it allows at least more customization options, and I'm so excited about it. Hopefully we'll actually be able to use this in PvP, because that'll be the best. And then we get an interesting change for hunters. So they're revamping hunters completely. This is alpha, could change later time, could be reverted, we don't really know. Instead of giving you options of changing a pet to what you want it to be, Blizzard will have each pet part of a specialization. So some pets will be Ferocity, which I know is just normal DPS pets, Cunning, which is a PvP pet, and then Tenacity, which is your tanking pet. At least that's how I know them. But the abilities that you get for each pet is going to be interesting. So each pet is going to have their own abilities, dash, growl, all that. But then every Ferocity pet will have Predator Thirst, 3% leech for you and the master. So for you, the hunter, and for you, the pet. Then we have Primal Rage, Bloodlust for your pets, 6-minute cooldown, 6-minute Bloodlust, no matter what pet is Ferocity. So you won't have to look for a moth or anything, or a manta ray or anything crazy pet. Every pet that's Ferocity will always have Bloodlust, which is awesome. Tenacity, Endurance Training. You and your pet gain 10% increased maximum health, and Survival of the Fittest reduces all damage you and your pet take by 20% for 6 seconds. I think it's cool because it's a lot more versatile in terms of its uses, and I'll get to that in a second. Then you have Cunning, Pathfinding. You and your pet gain 8% movement speed. And Master's Call. Your pet removes all roots and the movement parent effects from itself and the target and grants immunity to such effects for foot. Every pet that's Cunning will have that. And I think this is cool because this allows a lot more uses for your hunter. You can use a Ferocity pet in order to bring that Bloodlust that's much needed if, let's say, you don't have somebody that has Bloodlust. But let's say you need a situation that's a Mythic Plus where you need a little bit more, or a PvP situation where you need a little bit more of your pet. If you have abilities that would otherwise one-shot you, you can grab a Tenacity pet. It'll still do damage, but it'll give you more health to survive through hard-hitting attacks, and Survival of the Fittest to live through some of the killer one-shots. And if in Arena, everybody always trains you, you can just have a Tenacity pet, and as soon as you get bursted on Survival of the Fittest, bam, an extra cooldown for each survival abilities if it's all about the survivability game. Or simply running solo content, you can go Cunning with Pathfinding to get through dungeons faster, and Master's Call if you're in a dungeon or a PvP situation where there's a lot of roots going on. I think this allows a lot more viability and versatility for how you want to build your hunter, how you want to build your specialization, and how you can use those pets based on the specialization to adjust to different situations. Instead of having to get that specific pet, you'll have a lot more bigger pool of all the things you can do for your pet, so you can have one Ferocity, one Tenacity, one Cunning. And with that being said, I just want you guys to tell me, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like the fact that bleed classes get haste? Do you like the fact that we're getting changes to our attack power instead of weapon-based abilities? Do you like the hunter changes? And what are your thoughts on the dark iron dwarfs? I honestly think they look cool. I think they're probably the best aesthetically pleasing race so far, besides Nightborn, which is what I'm playing right now with my rogue, and I actually love it. Might not be the the racial that I wanted, but the look of the character is awesome. I can kind of see why people play undead. Whether the racial is good or not, you just like something about it, and bam, there you are. Except I'll never be cool as the undead rogues, especially the OG guys, unless I get the alpha beta. Unless I get the alpha Blizzard, give me the alpha, so it can be just as cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like. Likes allow my videos to reach a wider audience, which allows my videos to and my channel to grow, and it's overall good. It's progress. I love progress. I love watching the videos grow. I like watching the channel grow. I like having more of you guys on board. So that would be very much appreciated. If you guys enjoy these kind of updates, discussions, 5v1 duels, anything, go ahead and hit subscribe below. We put out daily content, 2 videos a day for you guys all to watch and enjoy. And if you guys want to catch some of the live streams that happen every single day except for Thursday, then go ahead and hit the notification down in the description below or next to the subscribe button in order to catch up to every single stream, every single video we put out. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment below all your thoughts on this update, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.